everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Will a Wonderful World. So let's go ahead, open our mailbox here, and pick this one. Alicia? A boy with a baseball cap.
부처님, 나도 좀 도와줘요.
Unit 4 gone. Alright, well, we've seen a lot of Alicia lately. I feel like we haven't seen Chang Jungmin in a while, so let's go with this one. Oops, down here. Oh, I sat in my seat opposite the bathroom. The office felt empty. Officer Ji-yeon was still in the hospital. Lieutenant Kang had been sent to a detention center. I couldn't find out where. And Officer Min-jun. I would never be able to see him again. So I was the only one left in Unit 4. Officer Min-jun had been murdered. This case had been turned over to the Superior Investigation Agency with Unit 3 assisting. Yesterday, people from Unit 3 had come over and taken everything that belonged to Lieutenant Kang. Fortunately, I had been prepared in advance. I had made copies of some of Lieutenant Kang's case files and reports, my bad. I also kept the red folder with the files on Unit 2. The files and reports were mostly about the cases that Unit 4 had solved. Nothing too important there. Although I did read a lot of familiar words in his reports, my words. I finally understood why he had always told me to write longer reports. He probably had not just copied my reports. It looked like he had also done the same to reports written by Officer Min-jun and Officer Ji-yeon. I shook my head, put them away, and opened the red folder. After they had taken Lieutenant Kang into custody, I had read everything in the folder multiple times. I had learned that Lieutenant Kang had been the only surviving member of the old Unit 2. The files in the folder had records of the details of Operation White Bay, which had been initiated by the previous police major. They also included every mission that Unit 2 had been involved with. Every mission had been a success, except the last one, codenamed W620. It was during that mission that almost the entire unit had been taken out. Lieutenant Kang must have been reading these files as a memorial to his former colleagues. I could still remember him crying when I saw him looking at the documents. I could also remember Officer Min-jun telling me awkward military jokes when he was reading the Encyclopedia of Firearms. It almost felt like everything had only happened just yesterday. I had fought so hard to be a proud member of Unit 4. I thought I would have a chance to spar with Lieutenant Kang every once in a while. I thought I would be listening to Officer Min-jun's war stories, telling me of events that had happened a long time ago on some distant islands. I thought that one day I would be fighting side by side with the three of them, all in the name of justice. It had never occurred to me that that day would never come. It had been 3 days since Officer Min-jun was murdered. I heard that they found an unregistered Glock 43 in Lieutenant Kang's home. They had also found his fingerprints on the gun, and the barrel matched the rifling twist patterns they had found on the bullets inside of Min-jun's body. The time of death had been determined to be noon of the day that we found his body. This happened to be the time when we had finished taking a drug dealer's statements and Lieutenant Kang had just left the station a little while earlier. However, Lieutenant Kang had offered no alibi for himself. How could Lieutenant Kang have possibly done something like this? There must have been something that he couldn't reveal. If only I could find out where he had been during that time. So far, that was all the information that I had learned about the case. I had tried seeking out Lieutenant Kim multiple times, expressing my wish to help out as much as I could with the case. Although I knew that being a member of Lieutenant Kang's unit as well as a teammate of Officer Min-jun I didn't have any right to be included. But as long as I could help Lieutenant Kang, I was willing to do anything, no matter what. However, Lieutenant Kim had only handed me all of the inconsequential chores of Unit 3. He wouldn't even tell me where Lieutenant Kang was being held. I was afraid that, as far as they were concerned, still allowing me to come to the station was already special treatment for me. I couldn't wait any longer. I had made a decision. I was typing on the keyboard while peeking at the makeup mirror on Officer Gion's desk. I saw through the mirror that someone from Unit 3 had just entered a 4-digit passcode to open their safe. In the Criminal Investigation Division, every unit had their own safe to temporarily keep classified documents. As Lieutenant Kang's case was still under investigation, there must be relevant documents inside Unit 3's safe. Stealing classified documents would be something that was way beyond rule-breaking. If I got caught, I didn't even know what kind of punishment would be waiting for me. But as soon as I remembered Officer Minjun's death and Lieutenant Kang being framed, I knew it was something that I had to do. This would be my justice. 7 p.m. The last person in Unit 3's office wing, Lieutenant Kim, had finally left. I stayed in my seat and kept typing on my keyboard for another 5 minutes. I didn't stop until I made sure that the entire floor had no other people, and I walked over to the safe of Unit 3. There was a basket of candies on top of the safe. I opened the door. There was nothing inside. There was nothing in the safe. Lieutenant Kim had opened the safe earlier before he left. Maybe he had taken everything inside with him. I went back to my seat, defeated. What else could I do to help Lieutenant Kang? Who else could help me now? Oh, right. I should go and see Officer Jian. I hurried to the hospital, but I didn't get to see her. A nurse told me that she had checked out and left the hospital earlier that day. But I didn't have a phone number to contact her. Damn it. There was nothing else I could do? Please, Buddha. Please guide me. What should I do? Chang Jungmin. If you hear me drinking, I'm sorry. I'm just having breakfast. Zuko had an exclusive and secretive business app for himself. Returning guests and people who had a referral could contact him directly on the app, instead of texting some ridiculous Morse code to the number on his card. He was good. Even if the targets had somehow learned that Zuko was after them, they would never be able to guess how they would be eliminated, nor when it would happen. He was like a magician. Business was good. But he always referred most of the jobs to his associates. He rarely got his own hands dirty, and he never asked for a cut of the proceedings. He told me that he wasn't doing this for the money, but for information. Occasionally, he would bring up some stories from the days when he had been working for Ray. A lot of them reminded me of my old days. He'd eventually made too many enemies as well, and had struggled for a while after leaving Ray. Once he was already too deep into the assassin for pay business, he realized that he had to give it his all to survive. He had also learned that information is more important than your kill count. Thanks to his connections, I was able to learn the identities of the people who had been after me. They were exactly who I had thought they would be. Yet it was practically pointless at this point. Right now, my head was worth quite a fortune. If I ever showed up on the street without a disguise, someone would be gunning for me in no time. I had to move to a new place every 3 months. All of the locations were scouted in advance for me by Zuko. He was the only one who always knew where I lived. Currently, my hiding place was at Pitt Street 96. Funny enough, it was 20 meters away from Pitt Street 99, the home base of the Black Dragon Gang. Once I had even spotted Ray from the window. I heard that he had become the new big boss of the gang. Zuko not only helped with covering my tracks, he would also take care of me when something else went wrong. Like today. I was lying in my bed with bandages on my legs and an ice bag on my head. Zuko put a bowl of hot porridge on the nightstand. I could smell a hint of overcooked rice. Then he sank into the couch and began to peruse the 3-month-old adult magazine that he had brought over. 4 days ago, he gave me 3 big envelopes. He wasn't the kind of person who would lecture me about justice, but he had his moral preferences, and he would put his preferred target on top of the pile. The first target was a greedy boss who had been stiffing his workers for 3 years. The second target was a paralyzed rich man who had been depending on his children. And the third target was the boss of the newest gang recently established in the Bay Road area. I picked the last one. And I'd gotten into an epic battle, which had led to this. Don't get me wrong, I was never some kind of vigilante assassin who had the moral high ground either. I had no right to be, nor did I want to. I was merely someone who had no family, no friends, and no reason to live. And being on the edge of life and death was the only thing that could make me feel alive. I tasted the porridge and fell asleep again. I seemed to have heard the doorbell ringing, and then I heard the door open, then close. It seemed to be a package delivery. Package? Who would send me a package? I sprinted from my bed and yelled out Zuko's name. There was no response. I walked to the door of my arsenal. Every time I moved, I would turn the smallest room into a mini arsenal, enhancing it with a security door with the keypad lock. Since I was moving in a few days, I had already packed all of my weapons and ammo. There was supposed to be nothing inside the room, but I saw an open delivery box just outside the security door. I entered the passcode. I didn't notice that there was someone behind me. Someone grabbed my neck from behind and choked me. I raised my left hand and stabbed my finger towards the throat of my attacker. He did a backflip and got away from me, landing precisely on the window ledge. His lowered baseball cap covered most of his face, so I could only tell that it was a slim, fit young man. You are indeed as good as they say. No matter, my mission is done anyway. See you never. The weird-sounding boy left me with this final word, jumped off the ledge and disappeared. I had more important matters at hand than going after him. I went back to the security door. It didn't open, even though I had entered the passcode. The only explanation was that Zuko had locked the door from the inside. He must still be in there. Why would he do that? An enormous force blew the door off its hinges, twisted it, and tore it into a million burning pieces that were flying towards me. Zuko was flying in the air along with all of the debris. His neck was bent at an inconceivable angle due to the explosion. When I finally woke up in the ICU, I realized that my left arm and both of my legs were gone. I knew that I probably didn't have much time left, yet the doctor still bluntly told me the other piece of the news. The man that had been found at the scene with me was already dead when the ambulance arrived. Strangely enough, when the doctor said, "I'm sorry for your loss," I wasn't really feeling too much loss. Alicia. Okay. Alright, let's start this up. There's a basket of candies on top of the safe. I opened the door. I entered the passcode. Box just outside. There was nothing there. I didn't notice that there was someone behind me. Ugh, that could be bad. Let's... Let's try that. There was a stack of files in the safe. I quickly flipped through them. They were exactly what I had been looking for. But before I could find out where the lieutenant was being held, I heard somebody walking in my direction. I quietly closed the safe, hid the files under my jacket, and snuck into the bathroom. In the men's bathroom, there was a stall that had a window to the outside. It wasn't too big, but it was enough for an adult like me to climb out. And the back door of the station was not too far from the outside of the window. I opened the door to the stall and stepped on the toilet lid, when I heard a deafening scream. Meow! I let out a scream myself and fell to the floor. The bathroom door opened. The person who had just come in was none other than Lieutenant Kim. For a moment, I even suspected that he had seen through my plan to steal the files the whole time. Lieutenant Kim pulled me up from the floor and took the files away from me. And then he said in a lowered voice, for the sake of us having worked together for a while, I won't tell anyone about what happened today. I thought Lieutenant Kim would be saying this in an accusatory tone, but when I looked up at his face, I realized that he was actually smiling. Why would he be smiling? I couldn't figure out what he was thinking. All I could feel was a chill down my spine. Zuko grabbed me from behind and dragged me away from the door. An enormous force blew the door off its hinges, twisted it and tore it into a million burning pieces that were flying towards us. Zuko blocked most of the debris for me. His body had become almost unrecognizable. He was holding my hands so tight when he died. Zuko was gone. There was no funeral. A couple of his master reader, his body handlers, took care of everything. Blue track suits, white gloves, black backpacks, and dark SUV are the trademarks of body handlers, who typically work in a two-person team. Their first question to whom that answer the door is, "Would you like some flowers? We have white chrysanthemums." The answer must be, "Do you have red ones? How many would you like?" 1. Then the duo would take the right number of body bags from their backpacks and offer their condolences before entering the room. "Sorry for your loss." If, however, the response is incorrect, or if anyone inquires about the price of the flowers, the duo would immediately make up an excuse of having left the flowers in their car and leave the scene as soon as possible. The rules of body handlers are well known among the assassin community. Occasionally, they might knock on the wrong door and run into a professional by accident. Then they might be chased off with a scolding, "I'm not looking for flowers today. If you come here again, I'm gonna send flowers to your place." Ooh. Awful. Okay. During the night of the full moon, a few days later, I opened my fist and examined my palm under the moonlight. Zuko had given me one last small present. He had been hiding it in his hand before stuffing it into mine when he died. It was a small metal part that he had taken off of the baseball boy's bomb. Okay, so hers is S rank, and his is bad. This isn't gonna make me choose between them, is it? I'm not sure what else to do. Like, I can't get it to be good here. Well, at least if I'm gonna end on one here, hold on, okay, so for you, I got your an S ending. Golden X, oh, this is the one that I'm currently on. Okay, so snuck into the bathroom. Okay, so enter the passcode, opened the door. We'll do that. Entered the passcode, opened the door. See, I really want to do this. This feels weird. That this one doesn't seem to matter. The only way for her to be safe is if there's someone behind her. So at the very least, I'm gonna enter the... What was this one then? Jack is snuck into the bathroom. Okay. I'm gonna count this one as done for now, because, like, I'm not getting anywhere. Wee! Okay. What's the next one? Oh, this one's a... Can I zoom out? Oh. Huh? What's going on? What? I've never seen a blacked out letter before. There's a black one?
Let me explain. A letter will turn black when its precondition ceases to exist. So a black letter means that the events inside this letter never happened. What is happening to Carlos might have something to do with his sister.
But none of the letters are black? I'm confused. Did I do this in the wrong order or something? Do you mean that something that is happening to his sister might have an impact on Carlos?
Yes.
But judging from the letters before, I didn't think that they were writing to us at the same time. Alicia's 9 years older than Carlos, but both of their first letters were from when they were 18.
You're exactly right. That's why the events of Alicia's letter will have an impact on Carlos. What is happening to Alicia now happened in Carlos's past.
Oh, I think I get it now.
By the way, we will not be able to process the blacked out letters.
I don't think that's blacked out.
As you can see, the other letter connected to it is also in a lock.
Yeah, I must have done something to mess up here because none of this makes any sense. I'm confused.
A locked letter means that the other letters connected to it are blacked out. If you see a locked letter in the future, go and check the status of the letters connected to it. When you see a blacked out letter, you may select it to obtain more clues. The clues are shown as the black dotted lines. The letters connected by those dotted lines are the reasons the previous letter is blacked out. Knowing this, we can start by examining these letters first.
Understood. Let me take a look at those letters then.
Oh, here is one small tip. Remember what happened in Carlos's previous letter?
If I remember correctly, it was about what happened in the auction house after he brought Yi there.
Right. Do you remember which ending you chose for him?
Of course. He saved Yi and also managed to escape himself.
And then what happened?
Then... Oh! He was taken away by the police, wasn't he?
Yes. You could go and check again. Because of the impact from some other events, the ending might have changed.
You mean that even within the same ending, the details of it could be changed at any time?
Yes. Such changes might happen in the non-ending part of the stories, too. It doesn't happen very often, but if you pay attention, you might find it interesting.
Well, I'm confused, so let's go ahead and leave this here on this confusing note. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.